A new generation of ninja swordsmen from the mist are rising, and it's up to Boruto and all of his friends to take them down before they turn the hidden mist village into the bloody mist village of the past. This episode right here is basically a build-up to the finale of this arc, and I think it's pretty simple and pretty awesome. Basically, it seems like every single main character that is involved in this arc is going to have some sort of cool battle with one of these brand new members, the new Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. That's right, that's their brand new title, and what's really cool is that we get to see all of them using those classic swords that we all loved so much from the past. But there were a lot of surprises in this episode, like the fact that Buntan Kurasoki is actually the daughter of Raiga. Yes, believe it or not, Shizuma is not the only member of this group who has connections to another old member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. We have Buntan, who is going to be using Raiga's very signature lightning blades in this episode right here. And while I can't really remember the names of all of these brand new characters, I can at least remember what sort of swords they are going to be using, and a lot of them seem very appropriate. With that one super big burly guy using the massive hammer and axe, the big explosive one going to the pretty boy, Zabuza's classic carving blade going to that dude with the killer afro, the one creepy chick with the massive hair who's going to be using the sewing needle, which is of course very appropriate for her, and of course the head honcho himself, Shizuma, is going to be using the Samehara blade, with of course the brand new Kagura character using the Hiramai Karai, which was the big sword used by Chojuro and a few other unnamed members from the past. So we have our brand new group of enemies here. They all have brand new swords, so we need an excuse to see them in action, and I think the best course of action is going to be wooden ninja puppets. Basically what happens is, as soon as they remove these blades from their altar, these automated, like, wooden puppet robots just pop up out of nowhere. They literally look like this, like, weird wooden version of IG-88 from Star Wars, and it's basically just an excuse for these characters to go all out and use their weaponry. And they all still work just like they did back in the day. They're extremely destructive and powerful, and I'm just waiting for that moment where we're finally going to get to that next big epic battle. But before we get there, we're going to build up the story just a little bit more with Mei and Chojuro deciding that they have no choice but to take these guys down, and that means even killing Kagura in the process. That is until Boruto shows up and he decides to freaking trick him into thinking that he's been harmed so bad that if he returns back to Konoha Village, that this could be the start of a very big conflict. And in order to avoid that, Boruto proposes the idea that instead of going after these guys as if they were criminals, just go after them as if they're just a bunch of kids who are getting into a very serious fight. This will give them leeway to kick all sorts of ninja butt. The rest of the episode does have some other surprising elements, like the turn of Suigetsu, who was seen in a couple of the other previous episodes, and he's following the character of Mitsuki and basically telling him to stand down. Apparently Mitsuki's been investigating everything that's going on here, and it looks like Suigetsu is going to be the one who is going to take down Shizuma Hoshigaki, or at least that's what his original intentions were. And that makes sense, as Suigetsu was always wanting to be the next in line to be the leader of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, as well as being the guy who could actually master all of these blades, sort of living up to the legacy of his brother, who unfortunately didn't get to do a lot in the old series. But at least Suigetsu has a future in the Boruto anime. The episode ends with Shizuma and his goons going out to this big memorial, which is at the very edge of this cliffside of the Hidden Mist Village. And right as he's getting ready to destroy this thing, Boruto, Chojuro, Mei, and everybody else shows up as they prepare for an epic confrontation with the new Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, with Chojuro immediately getting captured, which I think is honestly kind of disappointing considering that this guy is the Kage of the village. Maybe I just expected a little bit more from him. Then again, he is going up against a group of ninja who are using the most powerful weapons from that village, and he actually gets caught up by that one, like, sewing needle, which is still, to me, one of the most disturbing, like, weapons of the entire group of the Ninja Swordsmen. The fact that you can actually, like, see the threads going through his flesh and pulling on his skin, it's really gross, and if you don't like the gory details, that type of stuff could freak you out a little bit. And basically, they just sort of wrap him up and just start attacking him randomly. Even the big guy who does, like, a big attack against him, which I don't even even really know what the heck it's actually doing, but it looks really cool when it's happening. And let me just stress, too, that big eye is really scary looking. A lot of that is owed to the fact that originally I thought that that's just the way that his face looked. Apparently he's wearing some sort of like weird white mask, which is only exposing his nose, his eyes, his mouth, and his ears. He kind of looks like a weird, freaky mixture of a lucha libre wrestler and frickin' Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That combined with his overall psychotic personality makes him really freaking scary, and they don't even waste any time in actually setting up some of the big battles here. The intro pretty much gave it away, but of course Boruto is going to be battling against Kagero, while frickin' Shizuma watches from the entire time from the mist. And then you have Sarada, who seems like she's going to be doing battle with Buntan, the daughter of Raiga. That's right. So, lots of really exciting prospects for the future of this arc, but let's talk about it a little bit more in the rundown of this week's episode. This arc is moving towards its finale pretty quick, and honestly, I have no problem with that. I am anxious to see the next arcs of the series, but I'm also really excited to see what they're going to do with this whole Shizuma storyline, and to see how far he's actually going to go with the Samehada blade. The fact that he actually is holding on to what is considered the most powerful sword from the Ninja Swordsmen leads me to believe that maybe we'll actually get to see him fuse with the sword and transform into a half-human, half-shark creature just like Hisame. Maybe he doesn't have the ability to do that quite yet. Maybe we'll just get to see the default abilities of that incredibly ripplingly awesome sword, but we'll just have to wait and see. I do like how they are sort of subtly building up these brand new characters, mostly focusing on the character of Shizuma and that brand new character Buntan, the daughter of Raiga, and apparently she seems to be in some sort of relationship with Shizuma. It is heavily implied that they seem to be in some sort of loving relationship with one another, and they're very much in cahoots for wanting to turn the Hidden Mist Village back to the way that it originally was, and I'm really excited for her battle with Sarada. I'm just very pumped up to see how all of that is going to go, and how Sarada, a very young and inexperienced ninja who's only just activated her Sharingan, is actually going to combat this ninja who probably has a little more experience and has access to swords, which can pretty much summon lightning. So I think it's going to be a pretty exciting fight, and you can even see some previews to that, again, like I said, in the actual intro of the Boruto anime series. I'm excited to see what Shikadai and Inoichi are going to do, if Suigetsu is going to jump into the battle, if Mitsuki's even going to be allowed to fight in this, because Suigetsu did not like the fact that he was getting involved, and he doesn't want them to know, like, about the connections with the Hidden Sound Village and everything, which is all really mysterious as well. And every single time there's, like, a scene with Mitsuki, I'm like, why isn't this guy the main character? He seems like infinitely more interesting than just about anyone from the series. So I can't wait to learn a little bit more about him, and I like how throughout these brand new arcs that we're getting all these like nice little subtle clues to what like his actual deal is going to be. What I will say is, this was a pretty fun episode right here, which featured a group of brand new villains with some old school swords going up against a lot of really cool characters. I hope the fact that Mei is here, that we'll get to see her fight as well. While she is a little older than she was before, she had some pretty unique abilities with being able to spew lava from her mouth, and I have a feeling that'd be pretty freaking useful in the battle here. And I really hope that Chojuro is going to step up to the plate and really prove why he is the freaking Kage. Like, the fact that he was captured so easily, something about that really does bug me, and really the only major complaint that I really do have about this episode right here. So, I'm going to give this one right here a 4 out of 5. I think it's very much worth watching. It's got a lot of really exciting developments, and I love the fact that a lot of these new characters have connections to ones from the past. It makes them feel a little more relevant, and it makes them seem just a little bit more important. Pretty good stuff right here. But I want to hear from you guys. Make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Boruto in the comment section below. Of the brand new members of the new 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, which one is your favorite? If you could wield any of these swords, which one would you want to use and why? And what do you hope to see from the big conclusion here? What sort of battles are you hoping to see? And what about Shizuma? Do you want to see him transform into a giant half-man, half-shark? I know I do. Tell me all your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for all things Boruto, anime, and manga related. And of course, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay damn down, baby.